So welcome everyone to this very impromptu, kind of last minute live stream to talk about The Mandalorian Season 3. I'm your host, LaserPants, also known as Ryan. And I'm joined today by my very good buddy, comic book legend, and very, very handsome, Alex Sanchez. What's going on, man?
Hey, man. How's it going? I get theme music.
You got theme music.
Just looking at that intro, I'm so proud of you. You've come
really?
so far. Yeah, dude.
Oh,
it's like you got your thing going on. It's successful. People like it.
They don't like me.
They do. More than you know.
Well, how have you been?
Pretty good. You know, I put the women and children to bed, so I'm ready just to talk Mando Season 3.
Yeah. Oh, man. What a season it was.
Yeah.
God.
I have a feeling that we're going to disagree on some things, agree on some things maybe. So
I'm going to be hosting this show alone, everyone. There's no disagreement with me on this channel, ever. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's it, man. I just hope we can be friends afterwards.
No, we can. Maybe. We'll see. I don't like you right now. No, look, I've been playing up the whole I hated it, but there's a lot of good stuff in it. But man, there were some stinkers. But we're going to get into all that. I do want to say what's up to the chat because we got some regulars in here. Aiton Skate. Hello, man. Jim Largo. What's going on? Daredevil Dave. How you doing? Mobile Recluse. What's going on? Jeff Morris. Mr. Wonderful. Will Flow 81. Samuel Edwards. Electric Football Hero. James Salzberg. Find My Figures. What's going on? Find My Figures. Ken's Toys. Johnny Number Cinco, and I think I got everyone so far. Jesse Guajardo. Now, I did put a poll in the chat, and 19% of the people said no, they will not hit the like button because
they're hoes.
They're hoes. Don't be a hoe. Keep hope alive.
Yeah.
All right. So we had a 2-year. Are you showing us your Ahsoka doll?
I am. I got her today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Perfect timing. How's she look? How's that Rosario Dawson?
She looks great. Now, I have seen a few comments about the seamless rubber arms. Why does she have seamless rubber arms? Because they might deteriorate if you bend them at the elbows. And they're covered by the arm sleeve. So I agree with that. I think they should have done just like regular, or at least made them seamless up until like right where the cloth meets, the sleeves. Right.
Gotcha. But it looks good, man.
Yeah.
Are those all Hot Toys behind you?
Yeah. You know that. You've been here.
You are a rich, successful comic book artist.
Dude, I mean, I started collecting them in like 2012. So almost 10 years. So this is added up.
Yeah.
You were here. You know they're all Hot Toys.
I know.
You put your face right up against that glass. And you were like breathing your hot breath all over it.
Hey, I'm trying to make a conversation here. This is called a podcast.
Yeah.
We talk about stuff.
Sorry.
All right. Jeez. What's on your shirt?
Grogu.
Oh, my God.
Just for you.
You love. I think you're a bigger fan of this show than I am.
Oh, yeah, dude. And not only that, I totally realized this season that my main emotional attachment to the show is fucking Grogu. It is. Yeah, it's not Mando or any other of the killer cool characters. It's little green baby.
Okay, well, this season, 2-year break, right?
Yeah.
We had a little bit of Mando in the Boba Fett show where he reunited with Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Mandalorian. So the end of season 2, they part ways. Grogu goes to learn the ways of the Force with Luke, become a Jedi, and Mando goes off on his own adventure by himself. And that didn't last long, right?
Mm-mm.
I felt like that episode was really shoehorned in, like that plot point.
The 2 episodes with Mando during the Boba Fett season.
I feel like the people in suits, or in this case, probably Kathleen Kennedy,
mm-hmm.
stepped in and said, "No, we need Grogu back in the show because he's a cash cow."
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's possible. I don't know production-wise they'd be able to. I mean, where they would be able to shoehorn it in the production timeline, but they were the best 2 episodes of that Boba Fett series. I think that is
yeah.
So, but then again, just to play devil's advocate, it seems like a lot of the series since the ending of the second, so Obi-Wan, not even Obi-Wan, like going into Ahsoka, it just seems like they're cross-pollinating a lot of the stuff. A lot of the characters are jumping from series to series. So maybe they're building up to the whole Thrawn thing, the Ahsoka series. I don't know.
They definitely are doing that.
Yeah.
But just Grogu coming back so soon. I mean, they have this big emotional episode, right? And Luke comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, in the book of Boba Fett, out of nowhere, the episode just jumps over to the Mando story, right?
Yeah.
And he ends up reuniting with Grogu, and they're back together. Grogu's not going to learn the Force with Luke.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It felt like it came out of left field. What the reason for that, I don't know. Whether it was KK.
No, we don't know, but let's speculate.
Okay, yeah, no. I mean, I speculate just like you that I felt like they needed, the Mando star power, the Grogu star power. It did feel like came out of nowhere. Like 1 minute we're following Boba Fett's, story, and then all of a sudden Mando comes out of nowhere. I guess I don't remember. He needed his help somehow, or
he called them up. He's like, "Hey, I got to fight these fish people on Tatooine."
Right, which is fine. I mean, okay, he helps him out, but why they chose to jump to the planet with Luke, where he's training Grogu, and then bring him back. I mean, it did feel like it's something that they should have held off until like maybe this season at the earliest. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Mando should have had his own adventure without Grogu. I just felt like Grogu's story was kind of told. He should have stayed with Luke, and that could have turned into something.
Oh, really? Luke. So that's you thought he should have stayed with Luke? Okay. See, not me, man. Like to me, those two got to be together. Like at the end of season 2, when Luke took him away, I was like, God, I hope they reunite. Like that's just me though. So because to me, it's like, and they kind of answered this in this season. It's like to me, whether he announced it or not, Din Djarin was Grogu's surrogate father. I just feel like they had a connection that Grogu might go and train for, with Luke for whatever, but he'll always make his way back to him. At least that's the way I felt.
Okay. Not me. And I'm not one of those people that hates Grogu. I don't know. James Salzberg says, without those 2 episodes, Fett sucked ball sweat. Yeah. I didn't.
You didn't.
Did you like Fett? I didn't care for Fett.
No, I mean, it was okay. I liked the last episode with the Rancor fight, riding the Rancor, and
that was just like big time Saturday morning cartoon. Like I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I like the last 3 episodes. So the 2 Mando, and then the finale. The beginning of it was kind of slow, although I liked finding out what Boba Fett was up to, how he got out of the Sarlacc pit, and what he was up to right after that. I mean, I think the whole being adopted by the Tusken Raiders thing was kind of boring. The punks, yeah, the whole train heist I thought was kind of just there, and the punk kids with the bright motorcycles I didn't like.
No one liked that.
Yeah.
Literally no one liked that. I never heard anyone say I like the Spy Kids on their Power Ranger bikes. No one liked that at all.
And I think I saw those same bikes in one of the episodes in season 3 of Mando.
No, you didn't.
I think so, yeah.
Oh
on that planet, on that boring episode with. Anyways, we'll get into
Tatooine. Yeah. Oliver Sutton says, I can't believe anyone is still watching any of the Star Wars material. Don't you value your time and brain cells? No, I do not. I do not value either. Star Wars has been for the soul for over a decade now.
I think he means like soulless, maybe, for over a decade.
Soulless, yeah. That's fair. That's a fair assessment. James Salzberg, thank you for the super chat. They knew the Fett story sucked and wanted to gain viewers back. They knew they would lose. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, but my question is, when do they do that? Do they do that during the writing process? I mean, they can't be filming and then all of a sudden say, we got to stick Grogu in 2 episodes.
Probably around the time they fired Gina Carano. They lost a lot of goodwill.
Unnecessarily firing that beautiful lady.
Yeah. And Scott Hughes says, season 1 and 2 are pre-Kennedy involvement. Everything after equals Kennedy. We need an Oswald. Oh. Lee Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Kennedy.
Yeah, no, I know.
The Grassy Knoll, the book depository.
Yeah, no, I get it. Do you think she had... Because, I mean, if you look at the credits, she's executive producer in seasons 1 through 3, all of the seasons. So do you think that she really did have more involvement in this than prior seasons? Just based on what you saw on the screen. Not anything the rumor you heard.
I mean, I think we're jumping ahead a little bit, but that's okay. I feel like Favreau kind of phoned it in. But we'll get to that. First, I got a super chat from Northern Nomad. He says, LaserPants.
Emotional damage.
And Nostalgia Not. Thank you for that super chat. Rangers finally woke up. Carry on now.
New York Rangers? Are you watching the NHL playoffs?
I'm not. Maybe Bobby is.
Oh, he is. But although I don't think the Rangers are playing.
I don't.
They played yesterday.
Don't know.
Sports. You love sports.
Chronically Online. First super chat, which is criminal. So my bad. But this show tricked people when the movie started to blow. And now y'all coming around to the truth. You kind of got a good point. But thank you for the super chat, by the way. I stand by season 1 and 2. But let's get into season 3. So Din and Grogu have been reunited. They're hanging out. The first episode is called The Apostate, right? And so we know that's someone who has been gone astray and opposes whatever faith they were in. And that's kind of where Din has landed.
Mm-hmm.
Din Djarin. He has become an apostate because he removed his helmet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of over that whole thing too.
The whole helmet, removal.
It just, the more you think about it, the more they talk about it, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Right. Like there was just to fast forward a little bit when they were eating in the later episodes, I was just like, it's just like so in order for you to eat, you have to go walk away from people and not be seen. You're taking off your helmet. So yeah, I think it's a little much to dedicate to the first 2 episodes to his helmet, story, but it's important to him.
So the apostate starts and he has to, it's more video game plot, and the show has been video game plot since the first season to me, right? Go on the quest, get the thing to do the next thing, to get the thing to, right? It just keep, and each episode does that.
Yeah.
But man, this season was like next level with that, man. Like you must have noticed that a little bit.
I've noticed that for all the seasons, like you said, to be honest with you.
Season 3 was worse, dude.
Yeah. It's like to get the thing it's gonna take you to the person that knows about the other thing, and yeah, I agree.
So she tells him he has to go to the what's she called, the lakes of Mandalore.
Yeah, where the big
the bathhouse of Mandalore.
Yeah, the bathhouse.
Bathe, baptize yourself in the waters of
Lake Minnetonka.
It's okay. That's right.
Let's just call it Minnetonka from now on.
Right. So yeah, he's taking orders from this armorer here. And by the way, they're putting this helmet on the kid. So what?
Yeah.
His parents never know. They don't know what he looks like ever again.
Wait. Wait, isn't he the son of a heavy gunner?
Yeah, Paz Vizsla.
Right. So he was like getting baptized, and they get interrupted by the
big alligator.
Mm-hmm.
Which, how did season 2 start?
He had to help
and to fight the big monster.
Yeah, kill that big huge thing.
Crate dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So season 3 starts off, kill the big monster, right? The big alligator comes out of the water and starts grabbing Mandalorians. And they're so stupid. They don't know how to fight. Dude, they don't know how to fight. Did you see what they were doing?
They were just shooting it.
They were shooting this thing that had like armor for a hide.
Mm-hmm.
And it had this. It was eating people. It was eating Mandalorians. And what do? They shot cables at it like they were going to hold it down.
And
it just starts flipping them around. I mean, these Mandalorians just look stupid, dude.
Not impressed, huh?
Tell me you were impressed. Say something positive, because I'm just like dunking.
No, I'm just totally indifferent to it. I just thought it was just like whatever, I was.
Yeah, it's just
at least it was a quick battle, it didn't take, go on throughout the whole entire episode.
Yeah. Okay. So he has to go to to Mandalore, which has been nuked beyond all recognition, and they can't go to the planet because there's radioactive fallout.
It's not really explained. They just said that it was just ruined.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole season. It's either not explained or poorly explained. So he goes to this stupid planet, Mandalore. Well, first he has to go to Bo-Katan, and then he has to go back and he has to try to get IG-11.
Right. That I
right
thought
here
was just right. Yeah. That.
So they turned.
Go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna say I had a problem with that too. It's just like, what was the point of trying to resurrect? Because it kind of takes away from his sacrifice in the end of season 1. For me, you know what I mean? So,
and by the way, if you watch that season 1 episode, he explodes. Like he turns to atoms.
Yeah.
But somehow his head here and his upper body were still intact in one piece. Dude, it makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's like in The Rise of Skywalker when they find half the Death Star in that ocean. It's like, no, that thing was atomized. It was turned into dust. There wasn't one big, huge hemisphere of the Death Star that landed on a planet.
Right.
Half of IG-11 did not survive that explosion.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
I think we might be referencing the trilogies a few times throughout the review.
Yeah, we will. So he's trying to get this stupid droid,
which I don't understand. It's like you could have just got another IG droid or any other, which ends up happening. It's like the thing tries to kill them, and then they're like, forget about it, and then here's a droid. This one will work just as well, and that was
fun.
But
Geraint Horton says the writers lack attention to detail and don't go back and check previous episodes. That has to be it. They're not paying attention to their own show. I mean, right?
I mean, they have people in a position specifically to keep an eye on continuity. So you think a big company like that would?
No, they don't. I'm telling you, they don't.
Yeah.
They're a job. They're not a good job at it. It's just kind of. Am I upsetting you because you like this show?
Not yet. I think so far we're pretty much agreeing. So far.
So they can't get IG-11 to work because when they turn him on, somehow all the computer parts work and he can turn on, but he reverts to his old programming. That's all the explosion did. It blew his legs off, and he reverts to his old programming. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
so he has to go and he goes to Tatooine for some reason. Does he go to get R5D4 from Pelimoto, the Jar Jar Binks of this show?
Maybe he's the only mechanic he knows that can hook him up with a droid. I don't know. Does she owe him one? Does she owe him a favor or something?
I don't remember, but he ends up with R5D4 from Star Wars: A New Hope.
That I did not like.
That is a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone already knows that R5D4 is Force sensitive. He's a Jedi droid. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
It was in like Tales from the Mos Eisley Cantina or something. One of those old books.
Oh, really? No, I didn't read it. Okay, I didn't know that. See,
it's probably not canon anymore.
No. If it's
at least I hope not. Yeah. So he goes and sees the Jar Jar Binks of the Mandalorian show. Pelimoto, is that her name? I think.
I don't know. That's the chick from Strangers with Candy. That's all I know.
Right. Yeah. And he gets R5D4 so that he can go to Mandalore and send a droid out to detect the atmosphere to see if it's safe. Okay. So then he goes to the mines of Mandalore in chapter 18. Okay. What does he do? The droid goes out, starts detecting stuff, and then it disappears. So he gets out of the ship and says, I can pressurize my helmet. And he gets out of the ship. I'm like, you went through all that with the droids when you can just pressurize your helmet? Dude, this doesn't make any sense.
I can't defend it, man. I agree.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing too. It's like, if you could do that, why? So you're basically like sacrificing this droid. You need a sacrificial droid.
Yeah. Or the droid isn't affected by the radiation because the Empire nuked Mandalore, apparently. The Night of 1,000 Tears or the...
That's right.
What they call
which I think is a silly name.
The melting of Mandalore.
No, it was Night of 1,000 Tears. Or was it both?
I don't know. So they have to... He realizes it's cool. Oh, actually, the planet's not... It's not bad. We can breathe. Don't got to pressurize my helmet. Okay, so that's all you got to do? No one else figured that out? They just stayed away from the planet and thought we could never go back? Like, no one sent a probe over all these years? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm just overthinking it. I'm not.
No,
I'm regular thinking it. I'm regular thinking it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
Right. And so they go into the cave because he has to bathe in the waters of the mines of Mandalore and Lake Minnetonka.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so funny, but
well, because you're picturing Prince or Purple Rain, Miles.
Yeah. And so he runs into the land of the lost monsters. What are they called?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, they were underground.
Yeah, they were like those
the slee stacks. I don't know.
You're the one that's good with the Star Wars names.
I forget what they're called, but there's these monsters that live on Mandalore that we've never heard of before, and they're humanoid. They're basically like Mandalorian Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Not very interesting, yeah.
You have to give me an opinion here because I'm not just going to describe every episode.
No, I know. Well, there's a couple of things that I
Thank
do
you, Jeff
think-
Morris. Morlocks. Thank you.
Morlocks.
Yeah, the Morlocks.
There were a few things that I think you kind of skipped over
Did I
at
gloss
the
over?
very beginning. No. Like I thought it was pretty cool how the kid wasn't able to get baptized, and that's kind of like the bookend to the series at the end.
Who? Paz Vizsla's kid couldn't get baptized? Ragnar?
Yeah, because he got interrupted by the thing, the stupid big monster thing. So at the very end of the series, if you remember, he's getting baptized, and that's kind of like the bookend.
Okay.
So,
honestly, I felt myself getting dumber for most of these episodes. No offense.
So, did we skip over the Starfighter battle, or are we getting to that in this episode?
No, that's not in this episode. That's the next one.
Okay.
Oh, you mean with the pirates?
Yeah, we did skip.
Yeah,
over.
so he takes off. Yeah, he has to fight the pirates in outer space.
Well,
I mean, here's the thing, Alex. I can't talk about everything that happened in all 8 episodes. We'd have
no, but it's the reason I bring it up is because actually one of the main reasons why I like this season is for the Starfighter battles. I think they fucking knocked it out of the park with the Starfighter battles. I mean, and one thing, dude, it's like this first Starfighter battle in particular, where he's kind of hiding behind the asteroids and he's creeping. If you listen to the music in that, it's fucking stellar, man. So to me, the best thing about this episode and the series in general, one of the best things is the Starfighter battle. Also, if you remember, he was teaching Grogu how to navigate, which becomes useful to him when he has to rescue Din and go get Bo-Katan and all that stuff. So anyways, those were the good points that I took away from this episode.
Okay.
You didn't like the Starfighter battles?
No, they were great.
I love the camera angle, like right outside the cockpit window, and it's like you're seeing the back. Dude.
But I only talk about negative stuff on this show.
No, you don't.
Okay. yeah, they got to go see Bo-Katan in her castle, and she's just sitting in that chair, just chilling. It's like, how long you been
awkwardly, right?
Yeah.
She's like, she got one leg up.
How long you been sitting there?
I know.
Do you just sit in the castle all day long forever? Something. Yeah.
Sulking.
Like, why is there this huge long hallway? Look at this hallway.
Yeah.
Look how long this hallway is. I'm getting a am I still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I got a slow connection warning. Anyway. There's a super long hallway with the giant throne, and she's just chilling. Like, no one sits like you might sit like that. I don't know. Bo-Katan,
yeah.
Bro Crouton.
Yeah, this is silly. She turns him away, and whatever. She's
so did he just leave her there in this episode, and then come back later when they had the Starfighter battle in the next episode? He had to fight Swamp Thing and the Swamp Thing pirate.
Yeah. He
in the spaceship.
Yeah. Well, let's not jump ahead. Are we done with episode 1? Actually,
I think so. Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, so it was kind of boring outside of the Starfighter battle. And
I wouldn't even say it's boring. Like, the action in these shows is still good. I like all the action scenes. It's just the story and the plot elements are just really dumb.
I think it's one of the weaker episodes in the season.
Yeah.
This episode, the first episode, and 2 other episodes in particular, I think are the reason that this season has gotten so many mixed reviews.
Okay.
At best.
That's it? Okay.
Well, I'm just talking about, there's 3 particular episodes. I'm not saying that overall the story wasn't lacking in areas. I'm just saying these 3 particular episodes, I think, are the ones that people that didn't like it. These are the 3 episodes that put them over the top in that way of thinking.
Okay, well,
because if you start off like not that great with not that great of an episode, I mean, that's not good.
Fair. So he runs into the remains of Darth Grievous, or not Darth Grievous, General Grievous. And he gets trapped, and he has to tell Grogu, go get Bo-Katan, right? And he loses the Darksaber. So Bo-Katan shows up and fights General Grievous, his eyeball, right? She defeats him and then hands the Darksaber back to him. And it's like, and that comes up in the last episode, right? So it's just, I don't know. Like this thing, this eyeball guy was creepy as hell. Like that was like weird.
You like the design of them, and
I thought it was all great. It was just weird, creepy. It felt like Star Wars. I mean, I'm calling him General Grievous for a reason. You know, what'd you think?
It was cool. You know, whatever. I felt like this was just like he didn't need to get captured. I mean, it's just
he did. The whole show revolves around
him getting
this
captured.
happening and him losing that Darksaber.
I mean, kind of. Why? Because
because him not having the Darksaber, he gives it to Bo-Katan and says, no, like I was defeated and it was taken from me. And then Bo-Katan rescued me from my attacker and got the Darksaber back. So it's actually hers. And so she was able to unite the non-helmet Mandalorians and the always helmet Mandalorians.
Yeah, the Death Watch.
Into one Mandalorian club to fight.
Yeah.
The Empire.
I mean, I still thought it was kind of just there. Just like an extra little mini story within the overall greater story of this episode. Whatever.
So Bo-Katan saves him. And then they find the Lake Minnetonka, right? And he walks in and he steps into an abyss and he's drowning because he's wearing all that armor and he's sinking to the bottom. And so Bo-Katan has to save him again.
Yeah.
Because he's so stupid.
Because he's so yeah, I didn't get that. Why did he forget?
He was walking downstairs. He was walking downstairs into Lake Minnetonka. And then it just like dropped off. And he's wearing armor, so he won't float. And I don't think he had a jetpack on at that point. And so he just sunk.
What was he thinking?
He wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I mean, I guess the whole point was for her to see the walrus logo insignia thing that the Mandalorians worship or whatever, right?
That was the mythosaur.
Yeah.
So they see the mythosaur down in Lake Minnetonka at the bottom, which was supposed to be extinct, but there's one left.
Yeah.
Right? And like, if you ride the mythosaur, then you are the Mandalore. You lead the Mandalorians. But also, if you have the Darksaber, you lead Mandalore. You are the Mandalore, right? And you lead the Mandalorians.
Yeah.
So, like, what if one person has the mythosaur and one person has a Darksaber?
Darksaber, yeah. I don't know.
Do they both lead? Are they a team? Co-rulers? I don't know.
It gets confusing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, dumb stuff gets confusing. Okay, so then we have chapter 19, the Convert. And that's when they have the spaceship battle on Bo-Katan's planet, right? Which is like, it's like one of the moons of Mandalore. Actually, before I get to that, we got a lot of comments here. James Salzberg, thank you, sir. He says, light up the boulevard. Appreciate you, man. I'm trying to keep it lit right now. Scott Hughes says it's the season of side quests. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Articulated Ninja. What's up, Ninja? He says, what's up, guys? I know it wasn't this season, but screamed louder than my meme when Gina left. It hurt. I know, man. That sucked. Have you seen the Articulated Ninja meme?
No.
Really?
No. That thing, yes, I have.
Thank you for the super chat, Ninja. We got one from John Garrett. Andor's writing is so much better than Mando's season 3.
Dude. Whew. John, thank you for the super chat, but I don't know if I agree. That was a rough series for me, man.
It was boring, but it made sense.
Oh, it was too boring for me. I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, that's fine.
I don't care about fucking messengers for the Empire and for the Rebellion squabbling it out. Why did they go to jail? Who gives a shit? I was, oh my god, it was almost as bad as fucking Willow. That thing was an atrocity. Oh my god.
Oh, I didn't even try to watch that.
Dude.
But anyway, yeah.
Ugh. Anyways,
thank you, John. Appreciate you. Sal Vader, thank you, man. He says, I'm conflicted by your poll. I already hit like, but I am a hoe. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. This whole season was bad, and they should feel bad. They're getting more bold with their Disney trilogy connections.
Oh, yeah.
No, sir, I didn't like it. It's definitely connecting to the sequel trilogy. Which, by the way, I know that you like Doomcock.
Yeah,
right?
no. You know what? I stopped watching him because he reported something which turned out to be false.
Like everything he's ever reported, it's all theater. Like, no shade to Doomcock or his fans. It's all theater. He's got 4chan rumors that they're there on 4chan and Reddit, and he just reads them as if he has a source.
Yeah,
and it's a production. It's meant for. I don't think it's meant to be taken seriously. Personally.
Well, yeah, no. Around the time that I had mentioned him to you, or we talked about him, I stopped watching him because I think.
Did he say Kathleen Kennedy is fired this week? He said that like.
I mean, he's bad. He's bad, but to me, Mike Zero is the fucking worst of them all.
Oh yeah, Mike Zero is he just literally just makes stuff up. Yeah, and he won't return my DMs on Twitter. Come on, Mike Zero. Hit me up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sal, for the super chat. That's very nice of you. Okay. So the Convert. They have the space battle on Bo-Katan's planet, and then they just cut away to Dr. Pershing on Coruscant.
Oh, this is where I was like,
why? And
why? Why does this guy needs half an hour to 40 minutes of his own story?
It was the longest episode of the season.
Ugh.
And it was so, oh my God, it was so painful to watch. And
this is one of the 3 episodes that I said before that kind of really soured people on this season.
And all that happened, he was like, well, by the way, the New Republic is a horrible government.
Yeah.
I mean, they are worse than the Empire. Do you see what they were doing?
But
basically putting ex-Imperials in gulags.
Yeah.
And then like melting their brains, mind wiping them. It's like, what is this? This is not what good guys do.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a whole other thing.
So, I mean, I guess the whole thing is that he was betrayed. Gideon was, the chick who just looks like she's angry for all the time instead of like looking like she's actually up to something, conniving, and she just looks like she's freaking angry all the time and just pops like I hated everything about this. I thought this could have been told in like 5 minutes.
You keep saying she.
It's not a girl? Wasn't a girl? It's not? I think it is a girl.
Are we in trouble for?
Oh, well.
What the hell you say?
Okay. Talker Art says, how come you don't go this hard on all the other crap Disney puts out? Loving the show. I don't watch the other stuff they put out. That simple. Like what? Give me an example.
I mean, we did go when we were both on IE. We both went pretty hard on. Well, you did for sure on Boba Fett. And Obi-Wan too. Didn't we do Obi-Wan review also briefly?
Not me. No, not me.
That was a stinker.
I don't even want to talk about that show. I mean, talk about ruining like 3 classic characters and just destroy. No, okay.
For a story that felt wedged in.
It was horrible.
Yeah. Apparently, they're talking about season 2, or some of the actors are optimistic. Even Ewan McGregor and Hayden.
Stop it. I don't want to get up. I don't want to get off.
Yeah. All right.
So the Dr. Pershing episode was horrible. And at the end, he just gets his brain melted.
Mm-hmm.
And you could eliminate all of that from season 3 and not miss anything.
Mhm.
Like, it didn't serve the story really at all.
No. Yeah.
Did it?
Like I said, at most 5 minutes to explain all this.
Yeah. Now the next episode was pretty cool because we saw how Grogu escaped Order 66.
Yes.
That was cool. The Jedi Kelleran Beck, played
Is
by
that Ahmed Best.
played by Ahmed Best. It was cool to see him as a Jedi. I like that.
Yeah, anytime we get to see the aftermath of Order 66, I'm all for it. And I mean, a little bit of, a little, I feel like the actor Ahmed Best, he was a comedic actor that got hired to play a role and to recite George Lucas's shitty dialogue. And I feel like he got dealt a bad hand in the same way that little Annie, what's his name? God, Danny, whatever. Jake Lloyd. So, and this stuff really affected him. I saw a podcast with him where he was talking about how he was like suicidal and shit about the backlash and all that stuff. But I'm glad that people that aren't really familiar, maybe that didn't even know that he played Jar Jar, or might know him now as that Jedi dude that saved.
You can kind of hear Jar Jar in his normal voice.
Well, of course, it's him.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a voice though as Jar Jar, But what people need to realize is that in 1999, 2000, when The Phantom Menace came out and it was popular, there wasn't social media. He wasn't being attacked by fans. He was being attacked by the media. That's what drove him to like wanting to kill himself.
Yeah.
I remember people like, I don't know. I mean, I was 17 when it came out. Jar Jar was kind of like whatever. I was more focused on Darth Maul and the pod race.
Me too, dude. I think we talked about it very briefly, but you, for the most part, I think you're a fan of the prequels, right?
Oh, I still like the prequels.
Yeah. Like we could have a whole other fucking.
That's another.
Yeah.
That's another discussion. But I thought it was cool to see Kelleran Beck. I think I'm saying that right. The Jedi, played by Ahmed Best. He played a role in rescuing Grogu. However, I mean, are we going to revisit that? Because I feel like now I want to know what happened to them after that. What happened to Kelleran Beck? What happened to Grogu after that? One of the things was I was thinking, because Baby Yoda Grogu is 50 years old. It seems like he should be more advanced than like toddler or infant.
Yeah.
But he still can't speak. And I'm like, well, did the Empire put him in carbonite to preserve him so they could wake him up and take his blood when they needed it? Or, so he didn't develop, but he's still chronologically 50 years old.
Yeah, no, that's something that I thought about it like in the first season. I was like, even if he's a youngling but he's still 50, he's older than mostly all the characters that are on.
But showing how he escaped Order 66 from the Jedi Temple, I thought we would get more of that, but then the episode just kind of ended.
Yeah. So, I think we'll only see that stuff in flashbacks for the most part. Yeah.
And so then we hop back in chapter 21, The Pirate. We hop back to Navarro, where Grief Karga needs help because those pirates return to destroy Navarro for revenge. Go ahead.
I like this episode, actually. This is episode 3 that we're talking about now? No, 4?
Chapter 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th.
Oh, we're on 5 already. The big pirate battle. I thought that was the Weequays, how they. I thought everything was. I just loved it. This is one of my favorite episodes.
Okay, so he calls for help from the New Republic, right? Or he calls what's his name? Carson Teva?
Oh, the rebel pilot, Paul on Kevin's show, yeah.
Yeah, so Carson Teva, and he has to go ask the New Republic, or he has to ask the ladies' man for help for Navarro. And Tim Meadows is there like, may I suggest the butt?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's
and he
good.
says no because they're not part of the New
And
Republic.
what's her name? Just casually walks in. Hey, do you need? I'm going out to get some. Do you need anything? It's like, and then she interjects herself in the conversation. Like that wouldn't happen.
Did you say she?
They.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's not be offensive. Okay. And so they decide to go call the Mandalorians on their cell phone. Right?
Mhm.
Carson Teva goes and he lands on the beach there where the Mandalorians are hanging out. And he says, "Hey, Navarro needs help, and I can't help him with the New Republic," or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the Mandalorians decide to go help out old Grief Karga, even though the last time they met, Grief Karga was
They were all
murdering them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was Mando pretty much playing the peacemaker throughout, everybody between the Mandalorians, between Grief Karga and the Mandalorians. He was always the one to interject and smooth things over.
Before we get too far, I do want to. I think I passed over the whole episode where the Mandalorians have to save Ragnar, the kid Mandalorian from that
flying thing. Yeah. That's
okay. Now we got to get into that, okay? Because this pterodactyl comes and they're on that same stupid beach where they had to fight the alligator, which the Mando saved them from with his spaceship. Why don't they have a spaceship with big lasers? How did they get to that planet from Navarro? Nobody knows.
No.
So anyway, now they're on the same beach, and this time a pterodactyl comes and he takes the kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And John Hammond shows up and says, "No, okay, that didn't happen." Are you okay? What are you reading?
I've never seen that show. John Hammond is at the.
It's Jurassic Park.
Oh, all right.
The old guy.
Yeah, that guy with the dinosaur egg
with the cane.
Yeah. Yeah, this was just like it was a good episode. It's just I liked it anyways, but it's just kind of like another sidetrack mission at the very beginning.
Yeah. So hold on. The pterodactyl takes the kid and leaves, and they chase them with their jetpacks.
Mm-hmm. They run out of fuel.
Through Beggar's Canyon, and they run out of fuel. We've never seen a Mandalorian's jetpack run out of fuel. They don't even go that far, and it's like, guys, we're out of fuel.
Well, I mean, in this season, they were entering and leaving and coming back. The Earth, the
atmosphere.
Yeah,
you know how far up the atmosphere is?
No.
That's far, man.
Yes, I know.
So
it's pretty silly.
They go on a mission to save this kid from the pterodactyl, but they can't just fly up to the top of the thing after they refuel. They can't just fly up to the top of this nest. It's on the top of this hill. They're like, they have to climb, but it's too late in the day. We'll do it in the morning. And then they camp out and cook.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, the pterodactyl has your kid.
He's going to eat
You
him.
can't just wait.
That's not the worst part of this whole side quest.
That was almost the worst part. What's the worst part?
The worst part is like they kill the mom pterodactyl and then like they have to take care of the babies.
No, the worst part was they get to the nest and only the babies are in there. And this is the next day. Let's keep that in mind.
Yeah.
The next day, the mom pterodactyl comes back while they're in the nest and pukes out the kid, and he's still alive.
Yeah.
And he's like, fine. It's like, what the hell is going on? Why did that happen? Where did the pterodactyl mom go?
These Mandalorians are going to have to teach these baby pterodactyls they're going to have to like regurgitate their food for them.
Okay, but like Ace Ventura?
That's where my brain's
hungry
at.
Little fella. So, but where did the pterodactyl go for 24 hours and then regurgitate this kid who's still alive for the baby birds? I'm telling you, man, it's so stupid. It's worse than any cartoon that I've ever seen. And so, yeah, they kill the mother pterodactyl. Bo-Katan does, because the Mandalorian can't do anything. He's weak. And I like Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is not like some Mary Sue. I'm not saying that. She's fine. I liked her in the Clone Wars. But the Mandalorian himself, Din Djarin, he's just weak and dumb. until they need him to not be weak and dumb, and then all of a sudden
until the last until the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, then he becomes Batman. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they get the kid back. He's still got his helmet on. His dad will never see his face again. He won't see him grow up. What happens when he outgrows that helmet? He can't keep. He has a little kid helmet, but he can never take it off.
Well, I mean,
and they can never eat together.
Maybe they're like sneakers. It's like once you grow out of them, you get another pair. You get another helmet. Okay.
I mean, that seems like very wasteful of the Beskar, but maybe they reforge it.
I mean, again, the whole helmet not taking. I think it's kind of stupid. I think also when Din Djarin took off his helmet at the end of season 2, they should have just left it at that. Because in the end, the tribes get together and there really are no more rules like that.
Yeah. Jeff Morris says if Boba Fett can survive the Sarlacc pit, the kid can survive the bird's stomach acid. Okay, fair. But the kid's not wearing Beskar like Boba Fett was.
Just his helmet.
And he came out clean. Just like, oh yeah, this is my clothes. It's fine. I'll burn them through the wash, but everything else is okay. He wasn't scarred from the stomach acid like Boba Fett was. I don't know. It's just silly. Okay, so back to Carson Teva. He runs into Zeb at the bar,
which I thought was cool that we get to see the Rebels character.
Zeb looked good.
He did.
Zeb looked really good in live action. I like that. And it's worth mentioning that in a previous episode, Grogu was in hyperspace with Din in the ship, and they see the Purgles while they're in hyperspace.
Yeah.
Hyperspace whales.
Yeah, you told me those. That's a predecessor to Thrawn.
Well, right? The Purgles are the ones that came and took Thrawn and Ezra in the series finale of Rebels.
Yeah, right.
And they disappeared.
I remember you brought that up. When I was like, oh, I wonder if that means like Thrawn, and you're like, yeah, well, those are what those things are.
Yeah. So, that's a good point. I like that. Action Figuratorium says they should have made it where you can only take off your helmet in the company of other Mandalorians. Would make it more like a Knight Templar society.
Sure. Yeah.
That would make more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're getting a lot of like Rebels Easter eggs here, right? With the Purgles, and then we see Zeb, and so the back to the pirate attack on Navarro. Mandalorian shows back up with his Mandalorian gang, and they fight the pirates and they blow up the pirate ship.
Mm-hmm. That was a great Starfighter battle. No,
it was. Yeah, no, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. It didn't knock my socks off. Like all these episodes are super short, but they spent an hour on Dr. Pershing.
Yeah, I know. It's again silly, but I think this the pirate battle for me saved this episode from the pterodactyl subplot.
Was it the same episode? No, it was a different episode.
Yeah.
I had to double back to the pterodactyl episode.
Oh,
because that was the whole episode was a pterodactyl fight.
Was it? You know what, man? I watched the entire season this morning, and I couldn't tell you.
It all kind of ran together.
Yeah.
But
I one thing that I like about the captain pirate guy, the seaweed guy, whatever, was just like the practical effects. I thought it reminded me of one of. I don't think they're the same race. But the bad guys from the Ewoks cartoons and figures, vintage figures, the TV series from the 80s.
Never saw it. Yeah.
You've seen the figures though.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I never paid attention to them because I thought they were stupid.
The Ewoks?
No, the cartoon. The cartoon and the figures, yeah.
You were about the age though.
Right, I was, but I never saw it as a kid. I was watching Looney Tunes, man. I was watching good cartoons. I was watching Empire Strikes Back on VHS tape, taped off of the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. You threw me off here. Now, I guess the next episode is Jack Black.
This is the third episode that I was telling you where people kind of feel like they jumped the shark.
Okay, before we get to episode 6 or chapter 22, Guns for Hire.
Mhm.
Got a couple super chats here. Hayden, thank you, sir. What was there to ruin about Boba Fett exactly? What was there to ruin?
His mystique.
His mystique. He was a badass. Yeah, he was just kind of dopey and dumb. He couldn't make a decision. Everyone else made his decisions for him. He wasn't, he had to be warned by Darth Vader. No disintegrations. When the baddest dude in the galaxy has to tell you, hey, don't take it too far, you're a badass. Like, that said everything right there, right? So, yeah. So, they turned Boba Fett into a weakling who just kind of moped around, taking his helmet off, looking like Mr. Potato Head. Thank you for the super chat, Hayden. Cutthroat Comics. Thank you. Great stream tonight. Just wanted to say hi. Love these streams. Well, hello to you, Cutthroat Comics. Thank you. Hayden says, another one. Thank you, sir. How do you prefer Darth Maul and his species? Born without any markings or born with markings and that are accentuated with tattoos? I've only seen those guys with the markings. I know Maul's are like tattoos, like the red is a tattoo, right?
Yeah, they're all even his brother, I think the yellow, aren't those tattoos also?
Savage Opress. Yeah,
I was always under the impression that they weren't born with those markings. So
yeah, they're tattoos. That's how I understood it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hayden. And then Robert Diaz, thank you so much. If Mandos have kids or a wife, they are allowed to remove their helmets in private. Okay. Yes, they are allowed to remove their helmets for sex.
Oh, man.
They have a smaller helmet for safe sex.
Or maybe they have like a cod piece opening where they have to keep on their armor and their helmets. And what about
what the hell you say?
Thank you, Robert Diaz. Appreciate you. Okay. Jack Black. I am a big Jack Black fan.
Peaches. I haven't even seen the movie, but I've been hearing that song nonstop since it came out.
Oh, good. But anyway, he doesn't belong in Star Wars. That totally took me out of it because I just see Tenacious D. Like, there's Tenacious D. Now, I don't know this other person, Lizzo. I had no clue who that was. I didn't know that was some celebrity until after, and everyone was talking about it. But she could not act at all.
Yeah, no, I knew she was a singer or performer or something, but I didn't know anything about her. And she's
a singer?
Yeah, like I think she's like a singer or multi-instrumentalist, something like that.
Okay, but she's not an actor.
No, I was gonna say she can't act her way out of a paper bag. But yeah, no, same with you, man. It's like, it's like the previous episode ended with, I believe, with the Moff Gideon. It was shown that he escaped. They showed the damaged ship with it, and then I felt like it was like gonna be the next episode. This episode with Jack Black was gonna be like the beginning of the final act, and they totally just took you out of it with this another stupid side quest. And it wasn't just Jack Black and Lizzo. I mean, I love Christopher Lloyd.
Me too.
I love him. He was in Dennis the Menace, for God's sake. But
he was.
But
what you got there?
I just saw Doc Brown. It took me out of it. And then they went back to Jack Black. So, anyways.
Yeah. So it was the most egregious video game plot, I think, of this season. It was, well, we got to go here to get the other Mandalorians, right? Axe Wolves and friends.
Yeah.
But first, there's some perfect society that lives in a bubble.
Yeah.
And droids serve them. So there's.
Yeah. And then the whole power droid chase scene, I thought was just dumb and just. I mean, the only thing that I could say, and I wrote this down, was like, I did like that when that Bo-Katan wasn't able to communicate with the Ugnaughts, so Din Djarin had to kind of call back to his relationship with Quill and just he knows how to speak the Ugnaught language. I thought that was cool, but outside of that, just be forceful. It's like you got to talk to them, like. Anyways, Yeah, that was about it. And
But
the rest of the episode was just like the Mandos trying to get along for the first time.
Droids have their own bar where they go and drink oil, and
apparently, yeah.
Doc Brown put nanobots in the oil to secretly control them because he wanted people to be self-sufficient without droids. But was it just the stupidest, most confusing?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And then he was also a Count Dooku sympathizer.
Yeah. Which just seems like a really bad attempt at trying to tie it into the prequels. I think this episode had a little bit of that, like trying to tie it into with the power droid and the chase and that whole. But
okay.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it was a good thing. This was one of the weakest, if not the weakest, one of the weakest episodes.
Right, but we have to talk about it. So since when could a super battle droid parkour like that? They were always slow, like and then they raised their gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, this thing was like jumping over fences and hopping and running full speed. Mm-hmm. I'm like, super battle droids don't move like that, do they? They never moved like that, man. Remember in the big arena battle and Attack of the Clones?
I remember them using their rockets or their boosters more to get around than, because
they didn't fly.
Yeah,
they didn't. No, the super battle droids didn't fly.
You sure? They didn't. Didn't they have rocket booster feet?
Well, I don't remember that.
Maybe I'm misremembering.
You know, for reviewing the Star Wars show, we sure don't know a lot about Star Wars. See, Iodine 74 says no, they were slow and plotting. Yeah. So they discovered. Yeah, I mean, was it obvious to you Doc Brown was the bad guy?
Mm-hmm.
Like they basically pull his mask off. It's like Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
I would have got away with it if it weren't for you damn kids. It's like, I don't know. Yeah. And then you got these stupid and like the way Jack Black and Lizzo were talking, like "Milady, my lord." I'm like, what? Oh god, it just made me want to puke.
He hammed it up way too much for me, man.
He shouldn't have been in it because he's Jack Black, and that's all you see.
He knows someone.
I like Jack Black a lot. I like him in his other movies, but not in Star Wars. That didn't work.
I'm actually of the opinion that I don't really want to see any recognizable movie star faces in Star Wars. I'd rather it be like unknowns, newcomers, with an occasional sprinkled better known actor.
Like Grief Karga, like Apollo Creed there.
Yeah.
That works for you?
Yeah, it works for me. It works for me.
It helps that he hasn't really done anything in 20 years. You know?
Yeah. No, because
I
Tim Meadows, also
the ladies' man. Yeah, it took me out.
Yeah, that didn't work for me.
I suggest the butt. Get the lady.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
You know what that is?
Yeah, the ladies' man.
Okay. From what?
From Saturday Night Live, the movie? What are you talking about?
You got it right. Congratulations. I like you. Okay. Oh, we got a super chat from James Salzberg. Thank you, sir. Lizzo and Jack Black equals David Arquette.
Wrestling reference. Do you get it? Do you get it?
No.
David Arquette was in remember WCW?
Yeah.
He was in the movie that their wrestlers were in it, and he actually won their world heavyweight title on their wrestling. Anyways, It was big botch. It's not looked upon very well. So kind of like Lizzo and Jack Black being in this episode. This is the one thing that I heard the most complaints about. They didn't fit.
Yeah, no, they didn't fit at all. It was bad. Thank you, James. Okay. So let's get into it now. The final two episodes, the good episodes of the season.
So you enjoy these last two episodes?
Good action. Yeah. Just, more story problems for me, man. I did like that, when we all knew he was coming, Moff Gideon, when Moff Gideon came back out and he had like the council of the Empire there.
Yes.
And Captain Pelion was there. We hadn't seen him before. Now, Captain Pelion was Thrawn's right-hand man in the Heir to the Empire series.
He's the one that's like speaking on behalf of Thrawn. He'll be here soon, that guy. Thrawn will be here soon. He was speaking on behalf of Thrawn.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Captain Pelion.
Okay.
And I was like, I was thinking that's Captain Pelion because he had the mustache. He was older with the gray hair. I'm like, are they going to make that Captain Pelion? Because we've never seen him in live action before. But he was in the first expanded universe books, Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and Last Command.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. They're pulling a character out of the EU, like Thrawn, like they did with Thrawn.
Yeah.
And bringing him in.
I actually enjoyed this scene with the whole council, and because it helped. To me, it helped illustrate how kind of, even though they're all for the Empire, how fractured and that they're kind of using each other for their assets. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And how Gideon is kind of playing them against each other, lying to them about the cloning thing, like acting like he's not interested in the cloning thing. The only drawback is that it fucking ties in to the sequel trilogy with Hux.
Hux's dad, yeah.
Who is really his brother in real life. And that character, if he is never, that family, that last name, if it's never mentioned again in Star Wars, I will be a happy Ewok.
I'm the spy.
Oh, dude, it was just, anyways.
I
thought that was interesting, and it also ties into Ahsoka, like a lot of the stuff in this season.
Sure, yeah. I mean, this is all setting up some big movie, right? They announced the movie. Dave Filoni's going to make the movie that ties all these shows together.
That's his. Are you talking about the Ahsoka's a series? Are you talking about
Ahsoka's a series? But all these shows are going to be tied together in a movie directed by Dave Filoni.
Okay, because I know he is a showrunner for the Ahsoka series. He's writing it, he's directing it. I have. Anyways, let me not go there. But yeah, this is I did like this council scene.
Okay, and so we realize Moff Gideon is back. He was
with
rescued.
No mustache, which got the rumor mill. Milling.
Because no mustache.
Yeah, well, the clone, and anyways, we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So they return to Mandalore to restart the giant forge of Mandalore.
You're skipping probably my favorite.
Well, then say it. Bring it up.
We talked about how IG-11 was just stupid.
Oh god! Yeah.
I loved this fucking IG-12 idea. I loved it. No,
they turn it into a battle bot.
Yes.
And Grogu gets into an IG-11.
Yes.
And he drives, and it has a yes and no button.
Yes. No. On several occasions in that IG droid. I liked it.
But that's so out of left field. I don't know. It's like,
well, I mean, they could have cut out the whole IG-11 at the beginning of the series and just jumped to this. Or it didn't even have to be the same IG droid. Again, it could have been some other kind of droid. But I like the idea of him getting in a mech. And I thought the whole no-yes thing was hilarious. It hit me right here. I don't know what it is about this green little creature. It's just here.
How many Grogu figures do you have?
With this one that came with Ahsoka, he makes number 3. I would have had 4, but I sold my Mando because I'm going to get the one that comes with the Pedro Pascal chrome arm. So I got 3.
Okay, so yeah, he's piloting an IG droid, which, by the way, he's doing with 2 joysticks to move. So how does he do the arms? Are the arms intuitive?
It's
he has a button that he hits yes, and he has a button that he hits no, and then 2 joysticks to steer the thing. Right,
Ryan, I think when you start trying to make sense out of space science, you're gonna You're just gonna frustrate yourself.
But this is like basic stuff, dude.
The controls of the droid. I mean,
okay. Is it a droid? Does it have a brain, or is it just a vehicle now?
Well, Apollo did say it's more like think of it more like a vehicle than a droid.
Felipe says he's using the Force, and Joseph says feet pedals. Okay. Fine.
Question answered. There you go.
And Omega 579 says they turned Baby Yoda into Krang. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. He's Krang. All right, guys. I'll leave it alone. All right. What's next? What's next on the agenda?
Well, there was more, the whole Mando tribes fighting over the chess game. You know, that was okay, I guess. Whatever. But
well, hold on. No, well, let's get into that, because the no helmet Mandalorians and the helmet Mandalorians, they go to Mandalore and they meet some other Mandalorians who are like, hey,
Mandalorians,
yeah, and they want to team up with them. They have like their own big sail barge thing, right?
Yeah.
And
did you notice that one of those guys was Jesse's friend from Breaking Bad, the really cracked out one? Remember, he ends up.
No, I did not notice that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It was what was his name in Breaking Bad? The skinny cracked out one. What was that guy's name?
I can't remember. He died though.
In real life?
No, on the show Breaking Bad.
Oh, in the show Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm delayed right now. It says my connection's slow, so
yeah,
it's coming back.
We're almost done, so let's just power through it.
Okay. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So there are another big monster pops out of the ground and smashes their sail barge, right? And they all bail, right?
Took a couple of Mandos with him.
Okay.
It was brief. It was
not
whatever.
Any important ones.
No.
There was no important ones that were killed.
No.
Okay. So they bail from the ship, but the monster attacked them. It just happened to be right where the hole in the ground is to go fire up the giant forge of Mandalore. It was very convenient. Incredibly, it's almost like when Rey and John Boyega leave not Tatooine, and they just in the Millennium Falcon, and they just happen to run into Han Solo and Chewbacca. It's like, whoa, got lucky with that one.
It's not that bad.
It's that bad.
It's not sequel trilogy bad. Really? Oh.
You're bad. Am I roboting here?
You are, but I think it's okay. I don't see anyone else complaining.
Yeah, I got my connection thing here saying it's slow. I don't know what's going on. Well, my kid's probably upstairs. Huh?
I mean, now you're good.
Okay. My kid's probably upstairs streaming or something. I want to beat him later. So they go down to the giant forge to relight it, and who's down there? Moff Gideon and a bunch of his new dark troopers that have Beskar armor, and he has Beskar armor. He's decked out in this Beskar armor, and he looks cool.
I was just going to say, what do you think of his armor? What do you think of the... I mean, they look more like First Order troopers.
I know, but I want... Yeah, they're getting closer to First Order type looks on stuff.
Yeah, so they have the big fight, and it leads up to one of my favorite parts of the episode, which is the heavy gunner sacrificing himself. But he's killed by the Praetorian Guards, which in the beginning of the episode, during the whole holographic council meeting, Moff Gideon is negotiating with Hux. Do this for me, give me some Praetorian Guards, and I'll do this for you, or whatever. So they show up They kill what? So, all right. What did you think of the Praetorian Guards in the last this episode and the next episode that they're in? Did you think that they were? Because I think they always look cool to me. Like, one thing I'm not going to say about the sequel trilogy is that it didn't have cool looking characters. They were shittily written and yada yada. But did you think that they had any redeeming cool factor because of these last 2 episodes?
I think they looked cooler in this show than the sequels because they had a slightly different look.
They did. The helmets were different too.
The helmets looked more like almost like Mandalorian helmets. That was cool. I liked their weapons. I liked how they killed Paz Vizsla by getting him between the armor, right?
Right.
Stab it into him, and he slowly died. That was cool. Even though he didn't have to, it seems like he could have just backed out of there with the rest of them, and then closed the doors because they're all standing there watching.
Dramatic effect, I guess.
Yeah. So
somebody's gonna die.
He dies. Moff Gideon confronts him and does the whole bad guy speech thing. They capture Mando Din Djarin again, and they're carrying him away. End scene. It ends on Paz Vizsla's dead body. Right after he got stabbed up.
Yeah. So I thought at the very least the Praetorian Guards did more than they ever did in the movie. And what were they in? The Last Jedi?
Last Jedi. Well, they actually, it looked cool. Last Jedi, you'll watch that fight in Last Jedi, and one of them without being hit will just and they'll bet
Yeah.
It's horrible choreography.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just glad that they were more badasses in this than they were in the movie.
Yes, they were good in this show. They were not good in Last Jedi. Omar says Paz Vizsla went out like a champ. I thought he went out cool. I like
how his gun was overheating, and then he ran out of bullets, and he just threw it at them, and
they just used it as a club and started hitting them, and he started throwing dudes, and he kicked them off the cliff because there's never a safety railing.
Yeah,
Star Wars ever.
Well, one thing I did notice is when he was beating up the beta first order troopers, the jump troopers with the jump packs, he just pushed them over the edge and they just fell. It's wouldn't you turn on your jetpack and try again?
We can't think about space science. We're not allowed to.
Dare you turn that thing I said around on me?
In your face.
Yeah.
So that it ends on dead Paz Vizsla. Next episode, God, one of the worst things ever. One of the worst payoffs ever. One of the absolute worst payoffs ever. Turns out Gideon, he was trying to clone stuff. That's why he wanted baby Grogu, obviously. He was just cloning himself. It was a bunch of tanks with other Moff Gideons in it, and he was trying to give his clones the Force.
But he did say during his, now that you've foiled my plan, I'm going to tell you everything that I wanted to do. He did say during that whole thing that he wanted to harness and learn how to use the Force from Grogu. Not necessarily because he wanted to clone him. I don't remember him saying that.
He wanted his clones to have Force sensitivity.
Okay.
He was trying to imbue his clones. By the way, when he cloned himself, why would his clone be at the same age he is in the real, he's 65 maybe?
Yeah.
Why would the clones of him also be 65? Why wouldn't they be younger? Why would he take them out of the tank when they're 25?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Okay. Chewbacca is a Wookiee from Kashyyyk, but he lives on Endor. Okay. It's an old South Park joke. You didn't get it, did you?
No, I haven't seen South Park in a decade.
He wanted the Force-sensitive clones with Beskar. You can do accelerated age. I know you can, but why would you accelerate them to 65 years old? That's what I'm saying. Put the brakes on at 25 years old. Does he then also download his mind into their mind? Somehow? Does he upload himself into a computer and then download it into their... I don't know how that works. It was weird that he's just cloning himself. It should have been something cool. What if he was cloning the dead Jedi that were in the tanks in the Obi-Wan show? Remember they just had frozen Jedi in these tanks?
Yeah.
What if he was trying to clone Jedi? and then like have a chip in their brain like the clones did for Order 66, and you can control them. And then they're wearing Beskar armor, and that's what the Dark Troopers are. And they have lightsabers that come out of their wrists. Do you see what I'm saying, Alex? You're not saying anything.
I do. Yeah. This should get you to be the.
It doesn't make any sense to clone Gideon. He's just an old, crusty old man that doesn't have the Force. Why not just clone dead Jedi?
I don't know. Let's get Dave. Let's get Filoni on the phone.
I want to yell at Dave Filoni in his stupid hat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But Moff Gideon's armor with the helmet, badass. Loved it. I want the figure. It'll come out in 2 years. Because that's Black Series for you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh wait, did someone say? Oh, okay. I got some super chats. Hayden says, thank you, Hayden. The black parts on Maul are markings and tattoos. Yeah, cool. I like Darth Maul's look. I want other Dathomirian males, Dathomirian Zabraks, to look like Darth Maul.
How do you know that?
Because I watched the Clone Wars.
I mean, I did too, but I don't remember.
Well, you're older than me.
Yeah.
Your memory's fading. You're suffering.
I know.
From
Where
dementia.
am I? What's your name again?
Yeah. We got one from Northern Nomad. Known celebrities in Star Wars equals
emotional damage.
I agree.
We don't need that, man. Thank you, Northern Nomad, as always. Appreciate you. Robert Diaz, once again, thank you, sir. Paz Vizsla went Brock Sampson on those Imperials.
Who's Brock
Yes,
Sampson?
Sir. I don't know. I was trying to play it off like I did know who Brock Sampson was, like I was cool.
Oh, God.
Maybe someone in the chat can tell us who Brock Sampson is. Is that the guy that sells weed on Half Baked? I want to talk to Sampson.
No. Fly me to the moon like Alice Cramden.
Great movie, man. Great movie.
No.
Okay. Joseph Bett says the Venture Brothers cartoon.
I've never seen an episode. Heard of it.
Thank you. Sal Vader, you said Venture Brothers, but I think that is incorrect. It's Venture Brothers. Sal Vader.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert.
Are we done with the super chats?
Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to talk about how cool I thought the red shields sequence, which kind of harkened back to episode 1, Phantom Menace, where he's fighting one of the First Order troopers behind the red shield, and then beats him up, and then he tells R5 to open the door. I like that whole sequence. Right. Although cool. I didn't understand why he was telling R5 to hurry up and open the last shield door when
I don't know. But did you notice
more time to fight the guard that he's fighting at that time would benefit him? It's like, why would you want
listen? Did you notice how he leveled up through each door? He got better weapons, just like a video game.
No, I didn't. I didn't notice that.
Of course you didn't.
Well, then that makes sense. You didn't like the red shield sequence.
I did. I liked it. It was a total callback to Phantom Menace.
Mm.
With the Darth Maul fight.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. And then Moff Gideon with his Darth Maul helmet, pretty much like the Mandalorians from freaking Clone Wars. He's got the horns on it, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's trying to clone Darth Maul. Nope. He was cloning crusty ass Moff Gideon.
With no mustache.
So people are saying, well, that's not the real Gideon. Because
right.
He has the lamest death. Okay, so I want to get back to Axe-Woves. Axe-Woves freaking rocketeers it all the way out of the atmosphere into the ship, which was badass. And here I am thinking, he's a traitor. He's going to turn on him and start blowing everyone up, right? And somehow, Mandalorian's going to call in reinforcements from somewhere. I don't know. But I thought Axe-Woves was going to be a traitor. I thought he was flying up to the ship to get the ship to bring it back down and kill all the other Mandalorians because he was working with Moff Gideon. I was wrong. But that scene where he's like flying up through the atmosphere, like full-on rocketeer, like that was awesome.
You
Love
like that.
And then he flew into the ship that was in outer space, right? And then he told his other buddies, like, get down to the surface and help him out, and they all fly out of the ship. That was cool, man.
That was,
like,
I mean, that battle between. Okay, so here's one of the things, one of the reasons why this episode is one of my favorites and is very Star Wars in the way it was written and set up, because you have the classic Return of the Jedi, Phantom Menace, 3 battles
right.
happening within a big battle that culminate at the very end with each other. So
Totally.
that I
That
thought
was
was
cool.
really cool. You got the awesome battle between the Mandos when they dropped out of the ship,
Yeah.
and fought all the First Order jetpack troopers, and the armor is kicking ass with
Kicking ass.
utensils.
Taking names.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. And then you had the brief Starfighter battle before they dropped. Yeah. So I was pretty
cool.
happy with that. Yeah.
All very cool. Yeah, so X-12 is like flying the ship back in, and he just crashes it into the Great Forge of Mandalore. Right?
Mm-hmm.
When this is after like Baby Yoda was forced
Saved the
flipping
day in
around.
IG-12. He saved the day.
But then the vehicle got destroyed, and he was like flipping around on the rafters.
Yeah. Oh, I was like, no.
Like the Praetorians were trying to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
right? Din's fighting the Praetorians. Then Bo-Katan shows up with the Darksaber.
Mm-hmm.
And then Gideon shows up and tells him his whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is all a lot of fun. You know, I really liked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Bo-Katan has a Darksaber, and she's fighting Gideon, and he has this cool like electro staff.
Yeah.
He destroyed the freaking Darksaber. He crushed it in his hand, which it's Beskar. It's supposed to be like like the adamantium of Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that he has like some power gauntlet as part of this Dark Trooper suit that he's
Beskar.
wearing.
It's also Beskar armor.
Okay. All right. Well, and he crushes the Darksaber, which it felt like it was a lot of build up to Bo-Katan having the Darksaber so that she could lead the Mandalorians, and then it's just crushed. I don't know.
You got almost like Luke throwing his lightsaber over his shoulder in that movie we won't speak of.
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
I could see that. But I also think that it's much like the culmination of the season. You know, it's like getting rid of the old Mandalorian ways to start this new tribe of Mandalorians.
But the Darksaber's cool.
Yeah, but
I wanted to see, like, if Bo-Katan is going to take over, right? I wanted to see Bo-Katan with the Darksaber riding the Mythosaur. Just freaking badass. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
but one thing that I think, I don't know if you remember, when they were on the pirate ship and she was talking about how she was the reason that the Mandalorians all got wiped out. And she says, all I have to show for it is this saber, this weapon or whatever. And Din Djarin is like, to me, being a Mandalorian isn't about, you know, lineage, the blood or station. It's about being morally correct and that stuff. So I really think it was purposefully done to illustrate that it's a new beginning for the Mandalorians, the destruction of the Darksaber.
Yeah, but they should have kept it. Maybe one of them should have ridden out on the Mythosaur, right? And then Moff Gideon kills the Mythosaur, and they're like, "Oh, we actually don't need the Mythosaur to lead the Mandalorians."
Oh, geez.
That would have been better.
Okay.
Because then they still have the Darksaber.
Yeah.
All right. So X-12's, like I said, he's flying this spaceship. It's an Imperial light cruiser that they stole from Moff Gideon in season 2 after they captured him. He flies it, boom, right into the freaking forge, and it's all exploding and stuff. The lamest death ever.
Really?
Like Moff Gideon. Like, he didn't even go out like a champ. Like, he's just standing there and he goes, "Rrr," and the flames come up and he's engulfed. I'm like, come on. That's how he goes out? And then Grogu is there and he's using the Force to protect Bo-Katan and Din from the flames, which is okay, that's fine. Like, reminded me of Groot for some reason. Making the tree around the Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, anyway. So he protects them with the Force. And then Moff Gideon is just, it was just so dumb. He had a jetpack. Why not, like, I don't know, to try to fly out of there or something. But he just stands there while the flames slow, I don't know.
Ah!
Yeah, why you don't do that?
Is he
You
dead?
run.
You think he's dead for real?
Well, you said he had no mustache. Maybe it was a clone.
Yeah, that's the big rumor going around.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, well, I was fine with it. I mean, to be honest with you, if we didn't get any Moff Gideon this season, or if this is really his finale, I'm totally fine with it. I think they've already kind of spread him a little thin throughout the first 2 seasons because he's already been beaten and then he escapes. And so I'm fine with Moff Gideon if this is the last we see of him.
It probably is. I think they're, get rid of him. We're going to get to Thrawn next and Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He's going to be like the big bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gideon is Ronan the Accuser, and Thrawn will be like Thanos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Samuel Edwards says they can make another Darksaber as long as they have the Kyber crystal. Okay, maybe the armorer can, forge one, blacksmith a new Darksaber handle, and put the Kyber crystal in there. Omar says Din never really got to wield the Darksaber before it was destroyed. So lame. Exactly. Like he couldn't lift the damn thing. All of a sudden it became heavy for him because he wasn't worthy of it. It was like the Darksaber's Mjolnir. Thank you for the super chat, Hayden. I think we need more pre-episode 2 Django content. That could be interesting.
Yeah, depends. I mean, I think Tamora Morrison or whatever his name is getting up there. I don't know.
Oh, he's way too old to play.
If you want to see,
yeah.
What if they get the young Boba?
He doesn't look like.
No, he
young.
doesn't. But
no, yeah,
he's about that age.
He's like, he's in his 30s. I know that.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
I met him once in an elevator at a convention once.
Yeah,
he was very nice.
I bet.
Yeah.
Cool story.
That's all I
got. Any others?
No. No.
Thank you, Hayden, for that super chat. Okay. Robert Diaz says Din Djarin lacked the mental focus to command the Darksaber. You lack focus.
I mean, I never wanted him to be, the main guy for the Mandalorians. Like, I always thought it should be Bo-Katan. I guess maybe because of the Clone Wars cartoons, the whole bloodline thing, and to be honest with you, the one that's really running all the Mandalorians is the Armorer, because they always go to her for advice.
Well, that tribe did.
Yeah.
But don't take your helmet off, tribe.
Yeah. But even some ways, Bo-Katan throughout the season, I felt like she always conversed and treated the Armorer as her superior.
Look, the Armorer is like the Pope, and then Bo-Katan is like the president, right?
Right.
And they work together. I mean, because she's like the religious zealot, and Bo-Katan is more like the political leader, or military leader.
Commander-in-chief, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we get to end the season off, Din and Grogu return to Navarro, and Grief Karga gives them a little homestead where they can live happily ever after. And I don't have a picture of that. I wanted to show it, but oh well.
Yeah, he's playing with the frog.
Playing with the frog, and it kind of goes down to that circle,
the circular
transition. Yeah.
So kind of like well, we also see, again right before that when they're baptizing. I wanted to ask you. So same kid. Right. He lost his
Ragnar.
dad. Yeah, it's like his dad is fucking dead. And
no one adopted him.
I know. Yeah,
no one adopted him.
I know. That's another thing is Din adopts Grogu, and they call him Din Grogu instead of Grogu Djarin.
So, I'll explain it.
You have an explanation. Perfect.
I think it's based on a real world culture. So,
like the Japanese first name.
I don't know. Can I just say it before you cut me off? How about that? Is that okay with you? I'll wait for permission.
You have permission.
Oh, thank you, sir. So I worked with a guy named Ho before, right? He was Korean. His name was Ho. I was like, man, gotta be tough growing up with that name. He's like, well, in Korea, they call me Myung Ho. I'm like Myung Ho. Oh, Myung was his last name. We call him Ho Myung, right? So he's like in Korean culture, it's Myung Ho. So that's kind of how I see Din's name, Din Djarin. Like Din would be like the family name, Djarin would be his name.
Well, that's exactly what I was saying. Because in sports, for
example, but you cut me off while I was trying to get to it, so I recut you off to put it in my own words. See how I did that?
Recut me? That's not a word.
Because I'm the host. Got him.
Yep, got him.
But so he's Din Grogu. Ragnar with the dead dad. No one wanted him. He didn't get adopted. But old Din Djarin, he wanted Grogu to
he wants to train him in the ways of the Mandalorians.
Right, and they were like, no, he can't even speak. He can't take the creed. He's too young. He can't speak. He's like, then I'll adopt him. Yeah. And then he's my son, and then he can. And then and they're like, okay. So they are officially family now, right, by law.
Love it.
Yeah, Din Grogu.
So we come to the finale, which is
hold on one second. Bo-Katan Kryz is the last name, so it might be a Concordia thing, right? But remember, Din Djarin is a foundling. His parents were not Mandalorians. He was orphaned during the Clone Wars. His parents were killed, and he was adopted by the Mandalorians. So whatever culture he's originally from, his bloodline, I'm thinking that's how the names work. Din Djarin. Thank you, Future Rick. I just wanted to clarify my position, my theory. Go ahead, Alex. You were saying something.
The finale, I think they left it very open-ended. I felt almost like it could be the end of the series or just the end of the season.
Yes, it could be the end, but I don't think it's going to be. And I actually like the way they kind of set it up, because he goes and he sees Carson Teva at the bar, and he's the New Republic, and he's like, hey, I'm a bounty hunter by trade. That's what I want to do. Give me jobs to help you take out these Imperial remnants. Now, I want a season 4 where that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
I want to see him fighting. Yeah, I think that makes for some cool stories.
So then we agree that we both like the way that they ended the season, at least.
Yeah. So before I watched the last episode, I'm like, okay, Din Djarin's going to die, right? And that'll be the catalyst to push Grogu forward. And I don't know, maybe he'll start talking and he'll become the Mandalore, because he's good with animals. He uses the Force on animals. He's gonna calm down the mythosaur, and then Grogu will pop out with the mythosaur, and the Mandalorians will be looking at him like, oh, he's right. And then Bo-Katan will have the Darksaber, and they'll be co-rulers of Mandalore. Now that I think about it, pretty stupid. But that's what I thought was going to happen. I thought for sure Din was going to be killed, because I don't think Pedro Pascal wants to play the role anymore.
I mean, from what I read and heard, I mean, he's hardly ever on set. It's mostly the stunt guys, and he's just really doing voiceover work. I mean, sounds like a pretty sweet deal to me. I want to keep that going as long as possible.
Rhino Hobby says, like what Star Wars Underworld was supposed to be. Yeah, it was like, that was pretty much going to be like a Boba Fett show, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the original. Before Lucas gave up, sold it. That was a series that he was in pre-production with, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Where it was like ancillary characters, like bounty hunters and so get their own weekly story or whatever. Yeah.
What the Boba Fett show should have been. It should have been Boba Fett being Boba Fett, going after bounties, not trying to be, the head dude of Tatooine, the next Godfather. Or
just trying to be a good guy. I mean,
yeah, stop all that. No, Boba Fett will kill.
Yeah, Boba Fett will
he doesn't let a bunch of punk kids on their Power Ranger bikes tell him what to do.
Yeah.
But he did in that stupid show. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
I felt very with the final episode, I felt very yub-nubbing emotionally. Just,
the special edition Ewok song is better than Yub Nub.
Don't ever ask me back on the show again if you're going to say that, okay?
Yub Nub sucks.
Dude, Yub Nub was awesome, and so was the Psy Snoodles and Max Rebo song that they took out.
The original Size Noodles was better.
The original.
Yeah. The Nintendo 64 Size Noodles. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. All right. Anything you want to put a bow on for the end of this episode? This Mandalorian season 3 recap and review?
Yeah, just I still think season 2 is the best. Than this one. But I will say that I didn't like Mandalorian any less because of this season. Mandalorian is really like the only TV show that I watch kind of like a sporting event. Oh my god! Oh, he's in the IG-12. I mean, seriously. So I still get excited about it. Even the shitty episode with the scientists and all that. I mean,
I couldn't get excited about that.
I know, but I was still excited for the following episode, despite the shitty episode.
Listen, the last 2 episodes were the saving grace. Even though there's still a lot of dumb stuff, I can forgive it because the action was a lot of fun, right?
So season 4 gets announced, and are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch it. Yeah, because I'm stupid. I'm a glutton for punishment.
I don't like when you put yourself down like that. You do it a lot. I think you need to reevaluate your own worth.
You need to reevaluate these nuts.
That's like your thing lately.
I'm all out of water. All right. That's the show. Well, I tell you what, let's give it a star rating out of 10. What do you give it?
7.
I give it like a 5.
Okay. We're not that far apart.
Maybe a 4.
That's a different.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, two out of 8 episodes.
So you didn't like any of the episodes really besides the last 2?
Dude, they were too stupid. I like stuff that I like the look is like stuff looks cool,
Mm-hmm.
But it was no. Yeah. Getting 5, 6s.
Oh,
Iodine 74 says, if Ahsoka isn't good, will you still watch season 4? Boy.
Jeez. I have more hope for Ahsoka than I did for Obi-Wan. Just because Ahsoka is Filoni's baby. Like the character herself he's always talked about. So and I don't have a lot of faith in Filoni either. Like I have more faith in Favreau's storytelling than I do in Filoni's.
This was all Favreau stories this season.
I know, but like you said, you think he phoned it in? I think there might be something to that too.
Okay.
I think there were rumors that there were, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, there were rumors that people were interjecting themselves in the process, in the production process. So,
okay. Articulated Chad, thank you, sir, for the super chat. A lot of fodder this season, 5.5 out of 10. Yes. A lot of it was all filler until the last 2 episodes, pretty much. Like this season could have been 3 episodes. Let's keep it real. It could have been like, let's say 4 episodes, 2 45-minute episodes, and then the last 2 episodes as they were. You could that would have been fine.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Thank you, Chad. 8 and skate. Ryan, you didn't like Star Wars Rachel Maddow in the scientist episode. I think I know who that is.
She's like, I think she's like on CNBC. She's like one of those Tucker Carlson kind of people.
Oh, one of those cable news talking heads.
Yeah. Politically driven show.
All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I announced it in the 3POA podcast group on Facebook, but doing a special show on Wednesday. Me, Bobby, and Michael French from Retro Blasting. We're talking about this whole Mattel Hasbro licensing crossover. We want to dive into that. So it's kind of a big story. I don't think it's ever happened before. Like the 2 toy giants, they're each their own biggest competitor, right? Against each other, right? And they're kind of teaming up to bring some new toys to the market. Some Barbie Monopoly, Transformers Hot Wheels. Interesting. And what could that lead to? Talking about that Wednesday. This Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You gonna watch that, Alex?
I mean, for sure, at least on the replay.
You're not gonna watch it live?
I mean, I do. I've been commenting.
You listen. If you don't watch it live, you can't super chat me.
Oh yeah,
And I know you want to super chat me.
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I might have super chatted you once the entire time.
I know. It's all good. Super chats are not required. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I hope this wasn't as bad as I think it was, but it probably was.
Like the show or the this show as bad as
review show with you.
Oh, stop it!
What?
I mean, it's not my fault for sure.
I know I take the blame. I'm the host.
Yeah.
All right. Bye everyone.